So, right now, I want to talk about where I stand when it comes to religion. And I think that if you've watched my other video that seems to be getting the most attraction or most attention is atheism versus agnosticism. And if I were to put myself, if someone were to ask me, okay, yeah, let's go with this. If someone were to ask me, what are your religious views? I would say that I'm an evolutionary materialist. And I simply believe that evolution, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I believe that men came from apes, or that I do think that, but I also don't dismiss the idea of a god. Therefore, I'm also an agnostic. I'm an agnosticist. Sorry. And the reason I don't believe in God is because the Bible has no evidence. And it's kind of sad though, because Christians try to give me evidence all the time. For example, just today, the same day that I'm recording this, I was on Facebook and there was a picture saying, I will not believe in evolution until you give me all the evidence. And then it had like letters missing, but you could still read it. So I shared it and said, it also said, does that seem fair? And I commented, yes, it seems fair, but at least evolution has most of the evidence. So that proves that we're trying to get the rest of the evidence. That's why we have scientists. As to where Christianity has no evidence at all. So a woman in the comments said there was a bedtime story written 2,000 years ago. And then I simply replied with, a bedtime story is not evidence. I can write a book or write on paper anything about myself being the God of all. I'm the God, I'm the creator. And then wait for a decade, a century, or a millennia, and then someone finds it and they read, oh, Justin Erdmeyer, he's the God of all. That doesn't mean it's true. Just because you wait for a certain amount of times, it doesn't mean it's true. You can't apply statute of limitations to to anything. You can't just go throwing that around. So it's not like that bedtime story is going to be true for another 2,000 years. All of a sudden it's not. It's never true at all. Statute of limitations are not present. And that might be a confusing analogy that I think of it, because when we usually think of statute of limitations, we think of expiration dates, kind of, it's gonna be this until said date, and then you're no longer prosecuted, or it's no longer this. But I'm sure most of you understand. If you don't, just put in the comments, I'll explain via text. So, to move on, the reason I believe in evolution and how I got to this is, we were in church one day, and my mom pulled me over, and she was telling me about how she wanted me to believe in whatever I believed in. She pulled me over and she said, do not think that I'm forcing you to believe in Christianity. Okay, she didn't want to bring me to church every day and to think that she was forcing me to believe in Christianity, because my family is a really open family. We don't like pushing on the people. So she basically said, if you do not believe in this, you don't have to. It is not my duty to force you to believe this. And after that, I started thinking about it, okay. And of course, it was another 3 to 4 years I still believed in Christianity, until, but at the same time I was free, I was open, I was doing all the studies, and then it came to my attention that I'm believing in stories. the one thing that I use to guide my life is a book comprised of different stories. You know, it's one big book comprised of smaller books written by quote unquote disciples or followers of a man who did exist. Jesus Christ, well, Jesus of Nazareth did exist, but whether he was the Son of God, that's where I get a bit, you know, and I don't really think so. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's where I stand. I am an I'm an evolutionary materialist who's also an agnosticist, because I go where the facts lead me, but I do deny the existence of God, but I'm open to the belief, or to the, I guess you can say, the hope or the idea of God existing. If the evidence takes me to the existence of God, then that's what I'll believe. I'll believe that he exists when there's evidence. Until then, I'm going to follow where the evidence leads me. And that is my belief. And I don't think anyone can change it, because I want to know. I'm a skeptic. I question everything. I want to know why everything is. And if you can't give it to me, then I'm not going to follow. And that's that.